Hello, listeners. Welcome to episode 41 of The Companion to the Companion. Here with me is my friend Sam Ostro, and it's me, Ian Rotondi, and we are here to discuss the weekend of August 16th and 17th, 1996, on an Air Force base in Plattsburgh, New York, and an event that goes by the name the Clifford Ball. You listened to us talk about it last time, and you're about to listen to us talk about it some more. How you doing, Sam?
Good. I'm feeling like a beacon of light in a world of flight, let me tell you.
Indeed.
Yes.
What a great quote.
And show 2 of the 2 nights. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna dissect it. We're gonna talk about preferences and likes and dislikes and see where we end up.
Let's talk about it. It does seem like the impression that I get overall from the Phish community is that this may be the preferred show of the two. We're going to discuss whether Sam and I agree with that, but that's been my sort of impression. Is that the impression you get, Sam, as well? Or do you feel like it's just an even Steven situation, or does one night poke its head above the other?
This is not my preferred show of the two. I remember it not being my preferred show of the two prior to, although, you know, I didn't love these shows as much as I should have. And this entire re-listen has shown me that they're great. These deserve to be on the list. They deserve to. I feel bad that they take 2 entries out of the 100.
Sure.
Because I would rather that a festival like this can just take 1 entry.
Right.
I think it deserves 1 entry. I think both shows have their ups and downs. I don't know. In rereading aspects of the 3rd edition of The Companion to the Companion, of The Companion, we are the companion to the companion. The guy says in here that during the 2nd day's antelope, when I felt a sudden jolt of wisdom shake my unconsciousness and I adopted a more positive worldview right on the spot.
Right.
In rewatching this, because the videos are out there, and everyone should rewatch it. The Antelope was where I just went double thumbs down on this show. So I think he's developing a more positive worldview. This gentleman, his name is in here, Jeremy Goodwin.
Yeah.
And I'm somehow
Jeremy
developing
Goodwin.
a more negative.
Read many of his reviews. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he had an amazing weekend. We discussed this prior. There's 3 big in this show for me. And I think they escalate in their heightened throughout the night. And the Antelope is the 2nd of those 3. And I think I listened to this show both auditorily and visually separately. Listened to it in my car, driving around, really enjoyed aspects of it, but still didn't find it to be at the level of night 1.
Right.
Just broadly, as far as my love of 96, I thought there was some weak jamming. And then when it came to watching it, this show really hurt in a lot of ways. But none of that was really set 1. So let's jump into set 1. I think possibly the best set of the show, shockingly.
Could be. Yeah, it does start off strong. It starts off with Old Home Place. Charming. Very lovely way to start an afternoon set. It's the weekend. It's kind of, it's a Sunday afternoon, late afternoon. I suppose you don't want to just like open it with a Frankenstein or something. You want to, let's ease into it. And
it's good energy. It's the harmonies, like as you said in the last episode, the show sounds stunningly good.
Right.
And the harmonies are beautiful. The band sounds clean and crisp and ready. Mike's in all green. Trey's got the Grinch shirt. It's very, I don't know. I really enjoyed it as an opener, and it set the tone for a great set of music. Daytime set. Yeah.
And then we get to Punch.
Which was fine. Yeah.
Pretty good. Not great. It's not perfect. I like a perfect punch, and they are like unicorns, I will admit. But again, they're building up the energy, getting it going. And then we kind of hit our first, major performance of the night, which is Reba. What do you think about the Reba?
Well, it is the only headphones of the entire weekend. The only headphones in the book for the entire weekend, which kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Judging by how many things haven't gotten headphones in this book, I don't know. I believe enough people who are editing this or contributing to this beautiful work that we're dedicating so many hours of our life to really had a spiritual moment during this Reba,
Right.
which I tried to have. I put a lot of me into it. It's a very patient start, shows promise. It's unique. There's lots of listening. There's some good sheets of sound. It was good. Kind of a strange ending, but like a 4 out of 5 strong, good Reba. Sounds gorgeous. I enjoyed it.
That's a good review. I will give it a 10 for placement. Perfect placement.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't even know if I'd go to 7 for the performance. I mean, I think it's good, but it's just not an amazing version. But it's excellent. It's Reba, perfect placement, and I can understand how you would absolutely have a spiritual experience listening to it.
Sure.
So, but in terms of like, you're going back, you want to hear an amazing Reba, there are other choices. But if you're watching the DVDs, which we can't say enough how great they are, and you put on this Reba, you're going to have an amazing time. Definitely don't skip it.
It's very fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back us up a little. I've been listening to a lot of the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast, and I learned from Yorm and Akiva how to create the perfect punch. As you said, that how they're elusive. You meant the song, but I mean an actual punch. You have to edit out a few frames just before the fist hits the face. I just learned this listening to an episode, and it makes the punches look really heavy, even if it's a fake punch. So that's how you achieve the perfect punch, is you edit some frames. So,
well, thank you, Seth Meyers, and
put that out there
Island for that tidbit of information.
And it's a fun podcast. Listen to a lot of it. It's making me laugh a lot.
Yeah, I haven't started it, but how could it not be great? I love.
It's just great.
Both people involved.
Great. SNL digital shorts have been in my life. And then to Cars, Trucks, Buses, one of these songs of the summer, I would say, for them, trying to plug the new album stuff, and it was good. It was okay.
Yeah. I like to mix up my rating system for each song, but this song gets 5 exclamation points.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot of Cars, Trucks, Buses in 96, and every time I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not once did I not enjoy it. It was great.
No, and this is a great, great version. And again, like kind of perfect placement, I think, after the Reba, where we get a little soft and spiritual, get a little ethereal. But yet we are just kind of starting the festival. We're just getting into it. Let's bring them back with a little funk.
And it's some dancing. Like the crowd, you can kind of see like everyone's moving a little bit. Yeah. I think one of my favorites, if I remember correctly, was New Year's 96 in Boston. I remember that one being exceptionally wonderful. So,
Right.
Yeah. 96. It's a real highlight song that kind of disappeared a lot after that.
Love me some CTB. And then that goes into Lizards. And then not to jump ahead to Sample after that. And Sam, I really do think this 3-song run is one of the highlights of the show.
Sure.
I think all 3 of these songs are incredibly well played.
Yeah.
Like I said last episode, museum quality Phish.
I wheeled around because I didn't hear what you had said. I saw you dancing with the man up on the boy's bed, and I was foggy, rather groggy. They helped me to my car, the binding belt enclosing me, a sample in a jar, a sample in a jar. Sample in a jar. Sample in a jar.
Yeah, like when we talk New Year's 95, the placement of that Lizards, just the glorious structured build at the end that's really one of my favorite written, composed Phish pieces of music is just achieved on such a grand scale. And why these shows get lauded on so much is it is massive for them. It is the biggest thing they've ever done. They're performing at a high level. They are happy and confident, constant smiles on their faces. The crowd is happy and confident. It is a giant Phish party of achievement. It is a pinnacle weekend. And they really, these 3 songs, I think, showcase that. Where the Lizards as well
occasion.
performed. Yeah. And then Sample in a Jar is just powerful rock and roll and showing they're still the best just rock band. So.
Yeah, and I love that Phish is the type of band where I can just say Cars, Trucks, and Buses, Lizards, and Sample. You would just be like, whatever, I'm skipping over that. Like, there's nothing about that set list that makes you think it's going to be special. But this really is special. And it's just so perfectly played. I sense some energy happening behind me. Sam, I think we have a special guest that's about to join us.
Special guest!
Got my son, Bowie Beckett, over here. He's 9 years old, and he's a fan of Phish, and he's got a couple of things that he wants to talk about with this show in particular. Bowie, you want to come say hi?
And he's seen a number of shows, right? Bowie's how many shows deep? 4 or 5?
Bowie has seen 3 shows. He saw the 3 shows at the Hollywood Bowl the last time, and he loved it.
Seasoned veteran.
Deemed himself an official glow stick collector,
Nice.
and he can't wait to see more shows. I am no way trying to indoctrinate him, and I've got nothing on the line here. This is all him. This is something he likes. Bowie, say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Bowie. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some of these Phish songs in a minute here. But just, I know you love to listen to music. Can you tell me a couple of songs that's really been getting you excited these days? What have you been listening to the past week?
I think that Blowing Like the Wind.
Blowing like Bob Dylan, Blowing
Yeah.
in the Wind.
Yes.
You like that one?
Wow. Okay.
That's a classic where Bowie and I
That
saw the Bob
is.
Dylan movie, and Sam will be
Oh,
discussing
wow, yeah.
that later in the episode. But
Cool.
Bowie, I understand you really like the song Boogie in Your Butt by Eddie Murphy. Is that true?
Mhm.
Would you say that is a genius concept?
That is the most smartest song I've ever heard in my life.
Well, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Go check out Boogie in Your Butt by Eddie Murphy. And finally, I believe you were also a fan of the Bruno Mars song Apt, or how do you say it? A-P-T? Apatapatap?
It's either apt or just APT.
Okay, either way. But that's a
Cool.
banger, though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right,
I
guys.
love Bruno Mars. Yeah. Heard it here first. Those are 3 great and diverse
Sam just ask you
musical
something?
choices. Way to go.
Here.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of this show, Bowie, you enjoy a good scent of a mule, don't you? And I want to tell you what you said about this particular scent of a mule. We're going to just jump ahead a tad.
Oh,
here,
jump
because
ahead.
we
Jump
only have
ahead.
Bowie for a couple minutes here. But Bowie, you said that it makes your head want crispy steak and Chipotle.
Oh.
What? Tell me more about that.
I just feel like that song made me hungry for some reason.
It made you hungry, but you also say it's their funniest song.
Yes.
Why do you say it's their funniest song?
Because it's about poop.
Because it's about poop.
Yes.
That's true. It is about poop, and that is a fair assessment.
And maybe the laser beams cook the steak from Chipotle just right. So hot, sizzly steak laser beams. I get where that comes
I'm
from.
getting a thumbs up back here, Sam. I think you may have just nailed it.
Okay.
Bowie, you
I get
also mentioned that you love how Trey does the drop.
Huh?
When you talk about the drop, what do you mean? Can you give me can you make the sound of the drop?
For what? To the real?
What's that? Any drop. What does it sound like when they do the drop?
It's like when and most of them then
We're talking Wilson. We're talking Wilson. You love a good Wilson.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Dunna. Wilson. Dunna.
And then the guitar.
When it comes in and it goes,
Yeah.
that's the drop.
Yes.
Was that your favorite part of the whole show?
No.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was I started real. That was my favorite.
Okay, well, that's the highlight of the show
Cool.
for Bowie. Well, Bowie, thank you
Cool.
for joining us. Is there anything else that you want to add? Say hello to our listeners at all?
Hello.
Hello. Well, hopefully you'll be back to join us on another episode.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, man.
Bye bye.
Bye, Bowie. It's good to see you.
Well,
Getting
guys,
them in early.
if you ever
Getting them in
listen,
early.
well, listeners, if
kill
you
it,
ever
don't
listen
worry.
to Sam and I analyze Phish in our own way and think these guys are just talking in circles and they're not really saying anything, I think we're doing okay. Bowie's going to get better, but it's tough to talk
Yay!
about. These are tough things to talk about.
When you get put on the spot and you got to discuss emotions, Chipotle. I get it. So our new sponsor is this week is Chipotle. I
Crispy
hear that
steak.
their crispy steak burritos are the ones to get. So everybody, promo code C to the C
C
for
to the C.
$5 off of your next Chipotle crispy steak burritos.
Well, thanks for indulging us. We've now arrived at the taste.
Yeah, the taste. Yeah, I talked to you about this as well. It's fine. They still quite haven't figured out the chord changes in the jam, which are very complex. And then it became limb by limb,
Right.
which blew my mind. And I was like, wait a minute. And I went back and I listened to it again. It's almost identical. The drum beat is there. It's almost the same chords.
Right.
It was there's little aspects of this show and the last one that begin to hint at 97.
Right.
As well as we get into fall 96, which you and I are both giant fans of. There's hints of what's to come in 97, and I think this was one of them. This was a real, like, I was like, all right, taste. There's been some pretty bad ones the last few shows we've listened to. I hope this one goes somewhere. And then it didn't. Then it kind of became Limb by Limb. It was very cool. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It falls apart a bit, kind of unfinished, but it's getting better.
It's getting better. Not there yet, but getting better. And definitely the Limb by Limb is a for sure overlap.
And their confidence is so high after the 3 previous just bangers. So I understand why they're trying to, jump in with some new stuff and see if they nail it. I get it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go Fee.
Yeah, I just wrote is Fee.
It is Fee.
It was fine.
Yeah, it's standard, but it does have a small little ambient jam, a little reflective space at the end. That feels, I think, it's something that they do every now and then, but it feels extra powerful because it's in front of so many people and just the size of the crowd. And I think, Phish is still figuring out how to play the crowds these size, the type of music that translates. And oddly, I do feel like one of the things that they do discover is when they do get very quiet and reflective and they give the music a lot of space in this particular environment, it does flourish. It kind of like takes off and becomes more powerful. Something that can be seen in, the Down with Disease for the next year. Or any number of Cypress jams where it really kind of like breaks down into nothing, and just the energy that you're sharing beneath the crowd, because it's not a ripping guitar solo. It feels somehow, I don't know, like it's flowing more palpably.
Yeah, and the composed sections in this show and the previous show, there's a grandiosity, like a real sense of purpose to them that I found stunning. It was really. We've talked about watching versus listening, and this show was a real watcher.
Yeah.
You alluded to last episode. It's so well shot. It sounds so great. Like putting on headphones and just cranking it and watching it. It is stunning. And it's a immersive experience. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
Great stuff. And yeah, both Fee and then into Maze, which is a very visual song. I mean, I'm always bummed when Maze happens and it's still light out because the lights are so great in this song. But still, this was a big, fantastic Maze. Really well played.
Yeah, smoking hot. Great Maze.
Yeah, loved it. Again, great set. And then Susie, which is what you'd expect. The mini kit, like, I got thoughts. Thoughts on the mini kit and Paige being Paige. There's a little square, lip biting white guy kind of funk to it a little bit, but it's still amazing virtuosity on the piano. It's really well done.
Yeah, he's great on the piano, and I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't love this Susie. I thought Trey's voice was going a little bit, so it was a little crackly. It was a meh Susie, and I like a good Susie, but it wasn't my favorite. They could use a little break. They're going to go back and reboot a little bit and come back from the next set, or for the next set.
Yeah, the 3 sets, if I look at the show as a whole, and you step back and you take the 100-foot view, set 1 was supposed to be tight, composed, well done, a couple moments for some levity, but just they were getting out there to play some new material, with Taste and with Cars, Trucks, and Buses. They were getting out there to have a couple larger vehicles with Taste and with Reba. But mostly it was just a good, strong, well-written, well-played first set. A lot of the bulk of the weight goes on set 2 in the show. And then set 3 is kind of like, we're going to rock.
Right.
And it's our 6th, technically 7th set of this festival. And we're going to do a victory lap. We're going to do some shots. We're going to party. We're going to have a great time. And I think all the weight of the show falls onto this set 2 and it can't hold itself up. There's still some great music. Don't get me wrong. I very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed it. There were some real high points. But the first and second on the punches on the oof meter happen in this set. And I don't know that there's one single jam that I'm going to go re-listen to. I mean, for me, the re-listenability is Fluffhead. And I don't know if there's anything else.
Yeah.
So,
and I thought the Fluffhead was a little weird at the end. Yeah, it's tough.
But the weird, we'll get there. But there's not a lot of, I don't know. I think this set is the only reason why this show doesn't push itself to the next level. If this set really delivered, I mean, the set list itself is fantastic. So I don't know. We're nitpicking. This is still great music.
It is great music. So we got the curtain. It's perfectly played.
Oh, we have our tribute first. They come out and I got his name this time. It's Aaron Stein of Syracuse, New York. He's front and center for every single show on the tour, and the band acknowledges him for it. And he gets a nice applause from the crowd, which they don't say his name, but the book says his name. So maybe he contributed. Maybe people know him. Yeah. Shout out to Aaron. Way to go, bud. Nice job.
Hey, Aaron. Proud of you.
Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
You got great memories, I am sure. What a tour.
Yeah, there were good shows. I was at the Red Rock shows, and they were also good, and had a great time. And I really love that Deer Creek show, and it's a good tour.
I mean, maybe it was just the time of my life that I was at, in 1996. But I just remember my perception of the Phish crowd in the fall '96 was just it was very team oriented and euphoric, and just it seemed like everybody was in it together, and the vibes were just really positive. And it seemed like something changed from my first few shows in fall '96 to summer '97, where not I don't want to necessarily say in a bad way, but just in '97 things seemed a little bit more hey, there's all these new people here. But in '96, I feel like I was joining this small group. And then when I went in '97, it was
you're welcomed in.
So huge.
But you were welcomed in with open arms, and it was I do think collectively the audience was there to help the band win every night.
Right.
And you felt it. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was stumbling into your first Phish shows. Is different now than it was, but it's still pretty special.
Maybe, but maybe people these days when they go, they feel the same exact thing because it's so different than every other band. So, maybe it's different than it was in the 90s, but it's still drastically different than if you're going to see, whatever any other band, because people are just so focused on this thing.
Yeah.
All right.
I showed my 9-year-old. No. My 9-year-old saw, I showed her some of the Sphere show we went to, and she's like, Dad, can I go next time? This is incredible. I would love this.
Yeah.
So it's still the greatest show on earth. It's still fun and exciting. And so I said, next time they're anywhere near here, it's not going to be the Sphere.
Right.
That Las Vegas is not for 9-year-olds, but the next time they're near here, we'll go. It'll be fun.
Right.
So we may leave halfway through because I don't know that you can make, a half-hour tweezer, but maybe.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe I'm.
You never know. Kids
selling
will
her
surprise
short.
you. Kids will surprise you.
Yeah, and we can find new dance moves to do that'll keep you busy for 10. I mean, we're parents. You can keep a kid busy for a couple hours doing anything. All right, set 2. Sorry, digressing.
Yeah.
The Curtain. Perfect opener.
Yeah.
Perfect opener. And it was good. It was well played.
And then we get to Runaway Germ. Runaway Germ. And the Runaway Gym, look, it doesn't go anywhere. But they do get 60,000 people clapping in unison. And it just seemed like the band and the crowd was so happy to be in that moment together that I think it's pretty special. And I do enjoy listening to it for that. But it is a meandering sort of like they haven't quite figured out, they're not going somewhere specific. They're just going.
Yeah, this was my aha moment as to why the aspects of this show I was hoping would work didn't work.
Right.
Because seeing Phish in front of 9, 10, 12,000 people and feeling like they can own and hold that room in their arms and improvise and take them on a journey and feel confident and get it pin drop quiet. And I think that was gone. The show was massive.
Right.
And I think the band felt the weight and the energy of that big a crowd. A lot of really high people, a lot of kinetic energy. And I think they had a hard time managing some of it. And I can't imagine it's, you don't cross streams. It's that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You're crossing all the streams and it's a lot to hold on to. And I think they had a hard time communicating silently where do we go left? Do we go right? Which way do we go? Do we get bigger? Do we, their pinpoint accuracy was off a little bit. And it still was beautiful. And I'm sure being way back in the crowd in the moment, it was spectacular to behold. But I think even watching it, the band is trying so hard to hook up and get to where they need to, and they're still having a great time. And it's a fine runaway jam. It's just fine. It's nothing off, nothing bad, nothing boring.
No.
It just kind of goes nowhere, and it's textured and gentle, and probably was a beautiful thing to behold.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We're just nitpicking. And then It's Ice, and the It's Ice was perfection, I thought.
Yeah, this was very good. Maybe another re-listen to go, like, you want a super tight, big, on the spot It's Ice. It's great. Simple, very, very tight. Well played.
Right. Woo, woo. Is that an alarm going off? Do we have a crime coming up, Sam? I think we have a crime
First
coming
one.
up.
So the first brother since 93 starts up. And, Phish people at this point were already getting into set list digging. And I wasn't because I didn't know that much. But people that were there probably. And the first brother in years, this is just exciting. This is really going to be really fun. It's a little shaky. And then the bathtub comes out. And Ben and Jerry come out. And they're given microphones. And it just kind of feels shticky and schlocky and ham-fisted, and you're like, okay, you guys are from Vermont, we're from Vermont, go Vermont, and it's cool in its way, but it really, if I was there in any mildly to extremely altered state, this would have pulled me right out.
Right.
And I would have had a real hard moment. And even watching now in sobriety, it pulled me out of it, and I felt very strange. I don't know. How did you feel?
Well, I agree that it's a little painful to watch, or just like awkward, and Ben and Jerry are obviously awkward, feeling it as well. But I do think Trey's solo afterwards is super ripping. So I can't speak to how out of it would have taken me in the moment, or if we'd even been like, is there someone on stage? That sounds weird. I mean, who knows what you would have even noticed if you were at the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has a great smoking solo, as brother often does. So I'll forgive it.
Yeah, I mean, Ben and Jerry seem like nice guys. I've toured the factory. They're great guys. And Burlington is Burlington staples. But weigh this against the Arco Arena brother, and it's like night and day.
Sure.
So I love that they brought it back. Maybe this created, because Brother popped itself up a bunch in fall 96. So maybe this helped pull that back out. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it was the first thing where I was like, what's going on here? I thought this was the deep set. This was the big money set. And I felt a little shirked.
Whereas Phish figured out, or they were figuring out how to play to large crowds like this, something that they didn't figure out at this festival was how to play to psychedelics. I don't think, for as wonderful as this festival is, it just isn't played for psychedelics. Yeah, we got Fluffhead.
I understand. So I know what you're talking about. And at the end of the build, it's meticulously played, great all the way through. And then right before the arrival, there is a lot of weirdness that occurs. And that weirdness
That's why,
is,
yeah.
you can see Trey struggling with this aggressive, over the top distortion. It's very weird. It's very strange. But then post that, the arrival is actually wonderful, and his guitar solo is really euphoric, and I enjoyed it
Right.
a lot. So I do think what you're saying is 100% on point. It took me out a little bit, but I think like the third or fourth time I listened to it, it actually it endeared itself to me a little, and I liked that he was trying to fuck with it and change it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, he was definitely trying to do a little something with it. And kudos to that.
Yeah,
And maybe
and
it'll be one of my favorites one day. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, it still was a really fun fluffhead, and it sounds so good. Like, I just love the richness of their composition in this, and how good. I just want everything to sound this good.
Right.
I've mentioned it so many times. I'm getting old. My ears are going to die at some point here, and I want to let all the Phish shows I would like to just wash over me in this kind of depth of sound. And yeah, just putting it out there every episode, Kev.
You're right.
Release them all.
Release them
Release
all,
them.
Kev. The Fluffhead, because I talked about this last episode, I believe, and that one of the cool things about being able to watch a video that's shot this well, and to be able to watch the performance, is the detail of them performing this music. We have seen these songs so many times that we take for granted just how insanely difficult it is to just play a lot of these songs just normal. Not to mention adding new things and flourishes and getting crazy with it. And Fluffhead is one of their most complicated compositions, and it is kind of one of those things where you're listening to it, you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? But if you watch it, especially for a beginner, I feel like you can see them doing everything with their instruments and where the sound is coming from, and a piece like this really comes into focus. So I think
you see the concentration on the band too.
Yeah.
Very, very concentrated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a lot
sure.
of smiling, very focused.
And
the arrival matters more. The arrival hits hard because of the focus. It's just, it was great. It was great. And and then what you think is going to follow that up, you hear the beginning notes and you're like, oh shit, it's about to happen.
Right? Antelope. Run like an antelope out of control.
And you get your second of the night. This is 2 strikes.
It's 2
we
strikes.
are 2 strikes in.
This is a visual mistake.
So everything seems great. Solid antelope, great spot for it. Great spot for it. Goddamn. Could not, if I was there, out of my skin. So excited. Fluffhead is so much compositional craziness that antelope is the antidote. It is going to be wild improvisation. They get there, and then a rope comes out in front of the stage, and suddenly there's a woman on this rope, and she's doing acrobatics, and they're swinging her out wildly in front of the crowd. People are cheering. Everyone's watching this woman on the rope. The audience, the band. No one's really paying attention to where the jam's going.
Right.
Which is nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a real hitting that solid B plus, over the mountain, down the mountain, we're out. It's fine. It's fine.
Right. I think you're right. I think the band was like, we're going to get a cool acrobat and then we're going to watch her on stage and she's going to inspire the jam. But it just didn't work like that. And this is the roots. This is like the birth of Broadway Trey. So these are ideas that will come into fruition in the future. Phish will figure out how to get other entertainers on stage and how for that to light them up a little bit. Certainly better than they did here. This was a bit of a flail, but I more so than you, I think, appreciate them stepping out and wanting to try and do something a little bit different that they haven't seen other bands do. Granted, it didn't work, and it's unfortunate that it didn't work in the middle of a second set and a situation where the audience really needed something.
Well, see, I think it didn't work for me, but I think it probably did work for a lot of people, and I appreciate Broadway Trey for what he does. It's not for me either.
Right.
And I want the Phish that, guys, if you want to go for an hour without stopping, I'm with you.
Right.
If you want to jump off the ledge and take huge fucking risks, I am your man.
Right.
I will be sitting next to you. I am in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. When you look over terrified in the car, I'm the one giving you the smiley thumbs up. That is me. And I'm ready for you to go over the ledge, and I'm going with you.
Right.
And I'm going with you. And what upsets me the most about this show is I feel like the band was too nervous to assume that all of these people were going to go with them.
Right.
So they planned out, they had these meetings, I guarantee, and they said, guys, no one wants to listen to us do an 18 to 20 minute antelope of insane building tension release. People are going to need something. And I would say Karuta's enough, but maybe the lights aren't. So they said, what if we have friends that do this? We have these cool friends that do that. What if we bring our friends Ben and Jerry up? That'll be hilarious. What if we, and they planned these antics, if you will, visual ways to get the eyeballs off of them and to put eyeballs on other things. And I think for me, the Sphere now being referenced twice, the eyeballs were never on the band at the Sphere.
Right.
They were on the room because it was so shocking. The Sphere was the ultimate way to do this woman on the rope the right way.
Right.
But the Sphere didn't exist for Phish in 96. Oh my God, that would have been something. But
oh my God.
I had to go deep voice on that one. But ultimately it didn't work for the antelope, and it works worse later in the show too. This is the mid fail. The big fail's coming. But yes, I think it dragged down what was going to be the big peak of the set.
Right. They overplanned the party, is what you're saying. And that's
maybe.
that's definitely a thing. I've done it before.
Yeah, and then there's Golgi, which you're like, set closer. Perfect.
Right.
But, and it was great. But then they tacked the slave on.
Right. What'd you think of the slave?
Good, not great.
10 points for that pause, Sam. That was a great pause.
It was a hard G&G. It was gentle and everyone was laying back and it was nice. But the ending kind of like, I don't know, the energy gets a little too big too soon and kind of, they have a hard time maintaining it. I feel like if they had just Golgi and walked off, it would have been fine.
Right.
I think if Jim added another 10 minutes of craziness, I think if Antelope added another 5 minutes of craziness and then Golgi, and just walk off, guys.
Right.
Save the slave. We don't need it.
Sure.
But it was great. I mean, if you went and one off, just put this on and listen to it, you go, okay, great. But I don't know if you've seen this guy on YouTube who I every now and then get fed, hey, here's a musician who's never really listened to Phish, listening to Phish and reacting.
Yeah.
The reaction videos are a whole thing. This guy just listened to a live one. And I was like, oh, he's a musician and he like teaches music, is really into it. And he's like, I've never really listened to much Phish and I'm going to do a live stream of me watching it. And he breaks up during the Harry Hood and starts crying and has a religious experience on a live stream because he's like, this is the greatest music I've ever heard. And he's like, takes his glasses off and is visibly weeping and breaking down. But anyway, it made me go back and listen to parts of a live one. And I love that slave so much. And so I've listened to that recently. Right. And this is not that. This is not. It's still beautiful and big and pretty. And I mean, I also could jump forward a few years and that Slave from the Gorge in 98 is beautiful. Right. But it is a third of the speed of this one. Like Slave has changed over time and I think might have had its 94, 95 peak.
I agree.
So,
and then it came back a bit. I mean, I do think it did come back a bit. But I think like in 96... I didn't quite know what to do with it.
Yeah, they were trying to keep it to like 94.5 style, but also incorporating their new ways of improvising, and it hadn't quite figured it out. The tempo had to come down, and the layering, and like you said, playing to a giant room wasn't there yet.
And I also think they're, like you said, they're getting ready for the victory lap here. They can taste the end of the festival. They can taste the victory. And
it tastes good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're only human. So that's it for that set. And then we got the final set here, our celebratory final set. As Bowie was in here before talking about the Wilson.
Yeah.
And the drop.
The drop.
Yeah, and how much he loves that. Yeah, it's really funny to me thinking about so much of Phish's music is so youthful and juvenile and stupid and kind of good for kids, but a lot of the music is very complicated. So it is interesting to see what resonates. And I guess like when Wilson and Son of a Mule resonated, I was like, of course they do. How did I not see that coming? Yeah, this is
Bowie's set right here. Like
this is the set. Yeah.
This Wilson and this Frankenstein come out just 10 out of 10 energy.
Yes.
Like rock and roll. I was floored. It definitely felt like shots backstage, hugs and high fives. The energy was, guys, we're done.
Right.
Anything we do now is gravy. And I loved the energy. I was in shock. Like by the end of Frankenstein, I was like, I was bowled over with power. And
yes,
you could see the band just like flexing their muscles with the volume and the just being in that field and trying to really like soak in that power, and it felt good. You could tell they really, really were loving their jobs.
definitely. And Trey adds some Zeppelin teases to the end of the Wilson.
Yeah, the
Do you-
heartbreaker. Yeah, that was
Do
good.
you think he tends to do that when he's feeling comfortable, or why do you think that he ends
Yes.
up doing? Yeah, you think that's just a comfortability, like
I do. It's all the Hendrix in '97. It's the same thing. Whenever he's just like having a, he does little things to say like, guys, don't forget, I'm a rock god too.
right?
And it was one of those moments where it's like, no. I also play with the big boys, and I can weave these other licks into my licks because a generation from now, other guitar guys will be doing my shit. And that's what it feels like to me.
I think that's very well said. I think you're right.
Yeah, and it's pride, and it's also where is rock a generation from Phish?
Right.
Like rock bands are disappearing in a lot of ways, and they keep popping their heads up, and it's like, oh, the Jack White's gonna save rock and roll, and then I get it. I love Jack White, and I just think we need some more rock and roll. We need people to not forget, what this was and why the power of that stuff matters. And
right.
I think it's just passing the torch. I think he understands the place that this band has playing in front of 60,000 people. It was cool.
Yeah, totally.
It's very cool. Yeah. And then Bowie's favorite, The Scent of a Mule.
Yeah, Johnny Fishman had a little jam in the center. They took a little extra space.
It was just his. Yeah. What was it? The Yahoo? Yahoo Fishman.
Yahoo! I love it when he does that. But yeah, they're very fun, kind of interactive. Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
It was fun. And I thought this tweezer, or the Scent of a Mule, the tweezer, could have made up for the previous set's failures.
It could
Not failures, but stumbles. Let's say little stumbles.
Yeah.
And the Scent of a Mule was very promising, and I thought the band, it was unique, and they took some real risks, and I appreciated the risk take. I was like, oh, it was woo, guys. Yeah. Wait a minute. Are you gonna? Is Redemption tonight? It's spelled SOM, SOAM, and then the tweezer,
right?
Which for me sealed this was the third of the night, and really sealed the why this show didn't repeat last night's greatness. I thought it still was great, and it still had its moments, but this tweezer was a real letdown because the rest of the set was pretty good.
Yeah,
but you threw all the weight on the back of the tweezer. You knew it. You knew it. And after 94, 95, this could have been a career-defining tweezer moment.
Yes.
And it was fine. It started out fine. Tempo was good. It had a good groove to it. And then there's two big trampolines come out on either side of the stage.
Right.
And yes, you can Broadway tray me all day. but on said trampolines began bouncing one person on skis and another on a snowboard. And I just... Yeah. I couldn't watch.
Yeah, this
I was horrified.
This was a real mistake.
It was a real mistake, and in my mind, I remember watching it, and I did not know his name then. I'm gonna drop a name to Aaron Stein of Syracuse again, but poor Aaron Stein, who had seen this band the entire tour, front and center, spent his life this summer getting as early as he could into the show to be right up front in the middle, gets called out, has to watch people on skis and snowboards bouncing on trampolines during tweezer. Aaron Stein, I don't know if you listen to this, but if you do, let me know how you felt. Because if you thought it was awesome, I'm going to turn, here, this is physically out in the world. I'm turning my stance around. This show's amazing. If you were sold that this was a really great move from the band, I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm with you. Aaron, let us know. Sam and I are willing to publicly come out and say this was maybe one of the better entertainment decisions Phish has made.
Yeah. I am a grown man. Admit when I'm wrong. No problem.
I am aware that entertainment in 96 was probably simpler than it is now. We have higher expectations. And I think if I'm just trying, let's say I'm Phish's lawyer. Just throwing that out there. I'm Phish's lawyer. I'm saying... they're a goofy band. They're trying to do something stupid. And like you said, they're from Vermont. People ski up there. The people have seen them do the trampolines. What if we get crazy and put people on skis on? Again, not a good decision, but I guess I can see where it's coming from, and it is stupid. So it probably would have made me at least giggle at the same time as it is pulling me out of it.
But it goes on and on and on. It
I
doesn't
know,
end,
it really,
seemingly.
I'm not a very good
And
player.
I'm the other way, where I think the band was worried. They're like, we got to put a big jam vehicle here. They put Tweezer, and they're like, guys, I don't know that we can keep the attention of 60,000 people for a 20-minute Tweezer. I don't think we can do this. I don't know that our musical and visual capabilities with CK5, with everything we do, with our amazing sound, I don't know that we can stun these fuckers for 20 minutes. So what if we just have something else visually going on? And someone had an idea, and it was just like, cool. I got enough to worry about. Just do that then. I get it. I get why you're up there naked. It's scary.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a year and a half before this, Fishman was physically naked up there.
Yeah.
And now they're putting dudes on snowboards on trampolines. Like, what happened? Where'd the confidence go? We earned this place where there's 60,000 people here to see us, and we deserve your attention, and you paid to be here, and we are going to do what we do, not what you came to a summer festival to see. And I think Phish did not make a lot of these kind of decisions going forward.
Yeah.
I don't think they made poor visual or secondary to the music decisions down the road. And there's been some weird New Year's Eve stuff, but it's always been integrated into the music being first.
Right.
And we talked in New Year's 95, sometimes the gag being less intricate equals a better show.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
This was a real, I don't know.
As a lawyer, my only other defense point would be, just in case they did finish the Harpua and it had an additional story that we didn't get to hear that tied in all of these elements with the jumping and the skis, and they tied it all
and
together.
And the woman on the rope, and yep, maybe.
But it still doesn't discount the fact that it didn't work in the moment. So I still don't know.
If you explained it to me in a story in Harpua, I honestly would feel better. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, because the rest of this set is great.
Yeah.
The Day in the Life, Rockstar Gods.
Right.
This possum was good. It was good. I mean,
it was.
I thought
it was effing great, Sam. It was a great possum.
And then the Tweezer reprise, as you'd expect, was just massive and great. And then they come out encore, and you're like, wow, guys, what a weekend. And fucking Harpua, like, you are feeling it as a fan. And if this Tweezer delivered, I mean, literally, if this Tweezer was played how it was played without the trampolines,
right?
I mean, this show goes up a whole notch.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to say, just, Sam's not a huge Possum fan. I'm a bigger Possum fan. I just want to say I did think it was a great version. It was patient. It had a lot of details. There were a lot of really cool, weird flourishes. So if you're a Possum fan, give this one a look.
The
and then
band's having a great time. Great
Yeah.
time. They really are.
And then Harpua, I really want to say here, up to the point where it ended, it was the best played Harpua I've ever heard. If they had finished it,
fantastic,
could
yeah.
have been musically the best played Harpua. It was really
Well,
tight.
Well, this is our last thing. Let's get into this a little, because for me, you've extrapolated the story to me, and I'd love for you to illuminate said story to all of our wonderful listeners. But I remember I watched it and listened to it, and it happened. It was great, as you said, perfectly played. The story begins, and during Tweezer Reprise, you kind of see, and the cameras follow it a lot. This stunt plane,
Right.
and it's circling and it's doing stuff, and it kind of seems like it's tied into Harpua. The story ties in. You're like, wow, this is great. And then out of nowhere, Harpua ends, and this weird sort of dissonant feedback noise. The band just walks off stage, and the show ends.
Right.
If I'm a fan and I saw this tweezer takes me out of my trip, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then A Day in the Life brings me back in. I'm dancing to Possum. I'm having a good time, but I'm also like, I don't know, because you know me and Possum. Then Tweezer Reprise hits, and I'm like, fuck yeah, guys. Wait, and I'm done. I'm so happy. And then they come out for an encore, and Harpua hits, and I'm like, this is going to change my life. This is going to be the song that's going to tie my weekend together. And then it kind of ends halfway through, and the band just leaves. I would feel scared and nervous and worried that someone got hurt, or
Right.
I would have left with a very awkward, uncomfortable feeling.
Right.
And I'm sensitive to this stuff. Like when I go to a show, even if I'm dead sober, I am a raw nerve and ready to be there and to be in the moment and to be with the people and connect on a deep spiritual level with everyone there. And I would have felt uncomfortable leaving, which is surprising to me that so many people say this was the most positive, happy weekend of their lives, when this weekend ends with a real weird turn, right?
Yeah, well, I think your assumption is based on that people are listening to the music as carefully as we are, and I think
That's why you're going to a show.
I mean,
you're there to listen.
Yeah, no, I hear
All right,
what you're
hit
saying,
me.
and I think I can't. I'm just thinking of Halloween '98, and I think
Yeah,
we were
same.
definitely shaken up at the end of that third set. I remember.
I was weirded out.
Yeah, I remember being worried. I remember being like, "What?
Yes.
What just happened? Like, what is going on?"
I thought the band might never play again. It was very weird. The energy, because that was a special night. I was very high, and I had a fucking amazing night. And at that moment, I mean, already you could tell in that jam, people talk about that Wolfman's as, oh my God, greatest ever. But in the moment, you felt the awkwardness.
Right.
Towards the end, it got real weird, and you could see, we were close enough. The band was very uncomfortable, and it was weird. And then they just kind of disappeared, and it was done.
Well, they played Piper.
And
they played Wolfman's, and then they played Piper, and then they started Ghost, and then they just left kind of in the middle of the Ghost.
Yes,
jam.
it was.
I'm
sorry, I meant the Ghost.
Yeah.
But during the Ghost, it was very uncomfortable. It was very like, it was weird. And that's all we talked about that night. I remember having a very strange night in Vegas because I was just thrown off. And the whole show was so euphoric up till then. It felt very strange. And this would have done the same thing to me.
Yeah. Guys, Sam was thrown off at Vegas. I just threw up. But we were both doing the throws. we were both in it together. Okay, so back to the Clifford Ball.
Yep.
It was a weird ending. So this is the story that Sam was alluding to that I have heard from a few different sources. And that there was a plane trick that was supposed to be scheduled to go along with the story and Harpua. And that this stunt plane was going to come and do this trick. But I don't know the details, whether it was like a weather issue or what happened. But for some reason, the plane was not being communicated with and didn't do what it was supposed to do with the story. And that Trey was frustrated and was like, oh, we can't do it now. So they just cut it off and left. So my understanding was that he was not happy that it didn't sync up with the plane, and that's the reason why. And then we have the Harpua being finished the following year to open the Great Went. So they obviously are aware that they didn't finish it, and felt that they owed us a finish, and they did give it to us. But I guess this would be one of the questions I'd ask the band, if this was intended all along, or if it was just the performance was a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, we have a really good list of questions because I also have that question. I was at the Great Went, and it when they started the Harpua, a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay,
Right.
this is weird. This is strange." It was a weird way to start a show,
Right.
and they obviously redeemed themselves that night. But it was a weird way to start a show, and at that time, I didn't quite know what to make of it.
Yeah.
And then eventually lots of people around us were like, oh, they're finishing the one. Because I wasn't at the Clifford Ball.
Right.
So a lot of people were like, oh, they're just finishing the... And it kind of eventually made sense to me. And I got it. I just... it was a weird way to start my weekend.
Right.
So for someone who had never seen Phish and that was their first Phish festival was the Great Went, this fucked them up too.
Right. Well, there was
It was
a
bad
big,
twice.
there's a big difference between the Phish of Clifford Ball and the Phish of Great Went. The Phish at Clifford
Yes.
Ball was very concerned about people who were there for the first time and welcoming new people to their community. This was sort of like, welcome to Phish. The Great Went was very much like a, you know who we are, we're about to fuck with you big time. And they did.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I get it.
Yeah.
I just... it was different. It was the vibes were different. Like
Yeah.
you said, 96 Phish was very different from 97 Phish. And
Yeah.
good and bad. The scene was definitely not as friendly in
Right.
97, even though the band was crushing it. And as long as you kept your crew, like it was pretty fucking magical. But when people bumped into your crew, it was sometimes really scary.
Yeah,
So,
and guys,
yeah,
Sam had a
different.
rough Great Went. I mean, it was incredible music, but it rained a lot. His car was broken into, and he had a lot of valuable cassettes that he could not replace,
They
stolen.
took our tapes.
Yeah, and there was definitely some trauma, but those shows were so good that I do.
Oh
think,
God, yes.
yeah,
No, life altering weekend. That was great. So we're not gonna. Originally, we talked and we were gonna discuss favorite festivals, and you know what? Everyone does that shit.
yeah,
They're
we're
all
good.
great.
Yeah.
They're all fun. Coventry is probably not my favorite, but there's some really amazing moments. So let's just say anytime Phish does a festival, I go. It's fun. It's super fun. And if you have the chance, go. Why not? This
love
band cares so much about their fans, more than most bands. Like they will make it fun for you in some way. You're gonna have a great time.
I like Broadway Trey because it makes the band more palatable to my family members. That's why I like it.
See, I think Broadway Trey has a place outside of Phish.
Yes.
I just think now they're old enough to where the other members are like, man, we love you so much. We'll go with you to Broadway. That sounds fine. I'm like, no, guys, what are we doing?
Well, it was Techno Broadway this year. Okay, before we wrap this up, that was the show. You're going to be on the list, Clifford Ball. Don't worry. You're safe.
Yeah, we'll discuss
Sam,
that.
I went and saw this movie, A Complete Unknown, the biopic about Bob Dylan.
Yes.
And since our episodes come out nowhere near when we're talking about this stuff, you're like, that movie came out last year. But maybe you've seen it. Maybe you haven't by now. It's a pretty standard biopic, but man, I loved this movie. I cannot tell you how much I loved it. I've been thinking about it every day. I saw it like 10 days ago. Every day I think about it, gives me the chills, makes me smile. This thing was really great. And for any music fan,
That's what I've heard.
for any music fan out there, I strongly recommend you go see it, whether you're a Dylan fan or not. And this is what I want to talk to you about, Sam. And I just want to pick your brain here a little bit.
Yeah.
I've really been thinking about the reason why I felt like this particular biopic hit me so much harder than other biopics. And I'm just going to keep it to music here. But for instance, like whether it be Bohemian Rhapsody or the Elton John or Johnny Cash or Aretha Franklin, whatever it is, they all have their high points, great performances, very meticulous craft to make these things seem like you were there. But in every musical biopic, there's a few songs that they're going to choose to showcase where they show the performer playing these songs and you're like, whoa, this is like the world experiencing this song for the first time, right? That's a big part of biopic. But Bob Dylan's got Blowing in the Wind, The Times They're Changin', and Like a Rolling Stone. And those are like the three centerpieces to this movie. And I think those songs are so huge and so historically important. There's so much they when you watch Bohemian Rhapsody being performed or Rocket Man or something, you're like, oh man, these are amazing songs. This is so cool to see this person that wrote it. When you watch Bob Dylan performing Blowing in the Wind or The Times They Are Changed or Like a Rolling Stone, you're like, who wrote this? God? Like, it just,
Yeah.
there's something about
Yep.
these songs that are coming from a place of universality. And then the fact that they have been embraced by every facet of society to the point where these lyrics to these songs beyond the harmonies and the melodies are like, they're points of wisdom. These are like quotes that you would read in a book of like wisdom quotes. And I don't know, there's just something about it that when I watched these performances, that my whole body kind of went into this joy shock, so to speak, where my brain had to process how the world took these artistic performances in at the time, and then how they kind of slowly manifested and became what they are today. And those three particular songs seem to have so much more weight than anything I've ever seen represented in a musical biopic before. Am I way off base? Is this just rose-colored glasses because I just saw it?
No, not at all. I mean, Bob Dylan's a lot of things to a lot of people. And I haven't seen the movie. Everyone said it's great. I don't own 2 restaurants, anybody, if you're out there thinking about it. One is fine.
I was assuming you hadn't seen it.
I don't do anything in my life anymore. But yeah, I remember being a kid, and I was born in the late 70s and came up in the 80s, and my parents always had records in the house. And my dad at some point had a little like reel-to-reel player too. Like we have audio cassettes somewhere of us as kids being recorded on reel-to-reel. But anyway, he always had tons of Bob Dylan records. And I remember as a young kid hearing these songs. I remember him talking to me about how my dad was a folk guy. There was a lot of like Pete Seeger and Arlo Guthrie, that,
Right.
country folk kind of stuff. But Bob Dylan was something else. And my dad, I wouldn't say either of my parents are giant musical fanatics, but I would say both of them were touched by music, being kids that came up in the 60s.
Right.
And music had a huge, I mean, my dad hitchhiked from Boston to San Francisco to see the Grateful Dead in like 68 or 69 or 70, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, music just mattered to kids then. And Bob Dylan specifically took up a large portion of my parents' record collection.
Yeah.
And I was forced to hear, especially early Bob Dylan. They didn't give a shit about anything post, like electric Bob Dylan was not interesting to them.
Right.
And not in a bad way, just like those records before he went electric were shocking. And the lyricism, and maybe it was a lot of the like over-the-counter speed drugs and staying up forever and like working lyrics to their bone to get to the root of what could be put together in prose, and how weak so many lyrics are in modern music now hurts, because it's just about different things. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But the fact that pop music for a time was this scrawny little kid from the Midwest staying up for 3 days on speed, writing these insane, wild things and having them be from God, like you said. It's the filter of the universe. And I think all three of those songs are magical. They're beyond songs. To call them songs is almost reducing them to a lower level of what they should be.
Yeah, I think of like pop staples, like watching it, just being like, who's this boy? Damn. It just gets me so excited of
just
how
moving people to like tears and
how far the reach was. I mean, worldwide reach on this stuff. So big recommendation there for all our fans. I can't
wait to see it.
See it again.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try in the theaters, but it may be, staring at my headphone or with my headphones on at my computer and being in a dark room that way. But
and I'm guessing going with your dad is off the table.
Yeah, probably, but you never know.
Because I bet he would love it. It's all about his era. I mean, that's what the whole movie is just about, his era.
Stop at one restaurant, not two. I want to make sure that we tip our hat. A little while back, we had to take a break. Again, the restaurant problem. It's part of my life. But and going forward, there may be months we miss because we do this out of love. And even though we do have Chipotle as our new sponsor, we don't make a lot of money at this. We're seeing our lawyers
Yeah.
are. The ink is still drying on the deal, so
Well,
we'll see where we end up.
I just want to be clear. It's Chipotle with an L-A-Y. It's C-H-I-P.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
There's only 3 of them, and they're all in Florida. But yeah, we're gonna go with it because they say they're gonna give us a bunch of money. We're not sure. We'll call it Chipotle. Anyway, I just want to thank Jordan, who sent a really nice email. Just missed us. I know we got another message. It feels amazing to know there's fans out there listening, and really a heartfelt thank you from Ian and I. I mean, we really,
totally.
we do this just because we love doing this, and but it is something we put out into the world, and to have positive feedback feels really special.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. It makes us want to work all the more harder and listen to even more Phish.
Yes. Is it possible? I don't know. We can try.
Oh, it's
we can
possible.
definitely try.
Well, that was a great episode, Sam. I look forward to discussing the ever influential 103196 in our next episode.
God, it's going to be great. I've been listening, and I am pumped. Fall 96 is, I'm going to say, the singular most underrated tour this band has ever done. I was just reading reviews of the shows that I think should be on this list, and someone said at the Cow Palace show, which I saw, boy, the band really seems tired. This whole show was meh. And I think it has one of the best You Enjoy Myselfs that has ever existed, as well as like one of the best simple Into Sparks ever. Anyway.
I think we'll discuss the reason for that, but I think I've got my finger on the pulse.
Fall 96 is going to, eventually when we start adding shows to this list and kicking shows off, Fall 96 is going to be the one doing the kicking.
It will definitely get some feet in there. All right, Sam.
All right.
Well, I will talk to you soon. Until then, happy listening.
Have a great day, everybody. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Miss you, bud. Bye. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companiontothecompanion@gmail.com.